Not Just a Cake Lady, and welcome to my kitchen. I've talked about substitutes and different things that can be used, but I haven't gone into any explanations. So there's a lot of people that don't want to use sugar in their food. They can't have eggs, or they don't want eggs. I've learned over the years how to start navigating that. It's been difficult and it's been challenging, but it's actually been fun investigating different ways of substituting ingredients that we all take for granted. One thing that a lot of people can't have is eggs, either being a vegan or allergic to eggs. I had one little boy during the summers that couldn't have any eggs, so I had to navigate around making special goodies for him. So anyways, there are a bunch of different products that you can use as a substitute for eggs. I have my handy dandy chart, and I will post it at the end of this video. But one thing that you can use to substitute for egg is vegan yogurt. I have not personally used yogurt as a substitute, vegan yogurt, and I will give you the quantities for a replacement. In this case, 1 egg is 1/4 cup of vegan yogurt. The one that I like to use the most is baking powder with water and a little bit of oil. That causes the product to puff up a lot more because of the carbon dioxide being released. We talked about that in one of the earlier videos, using baking powder and baking soda and how it releases carbon dioxide. So I like using that one. Another one is applesauce. That's always a good one. You can use applesauce, 1/4 cup for 1 egg, or a banana. See, it's things that we have around the house. Oh, hey, I don't have eggs today. I might have a banana. I don't have eggs today. I just might have some applesauce. So there's different things around the house that you might have that you can use instead of an egg. There's also egg replacer that you can buy. Bulk Barn sells it. Superstore in the specialty department in the dietary department. And so I've used that too. That works well. And again, that's basically just baking powder mixture. So it's expensive. It's better off making your own. So again, you have baking powder, applesauce, bananas, yogurt to replace one of these bad boys. This is an egg, by the way. So I will post this chart, and it tells you exactly what you need and what proportions to use it for. And so we'll leave that at that as a substitute for eggs. And next time we're going to do substitutes for sugar. Well, sugar. What can I say? We have a love-hate relationship with sugar. We love our sugar, and we hate our sugar. We hate our sugar because it's not good for us, it's not healthy, but we love it because it's sweet, and it makes all our yummy baked goods taste even better. And without sugar, everything would be very blah. So sugar is a toughie to live with and a toughie to live without. So, but luckily for us, there's a lot of product out there now that does help alleviate the sugar, either being a diabetic or having other health issues that we want to limit our sugar. We're trying to lose weight. There are things out there now that we can substitute our love and hate sugar. And so anyways, white sugar. I have been using a lot of stevia. I find this pretty good. Actually, I find it really good. It's a 1-to-1 substitute. So if it calls for 1 cup of sugar, you can swap it right out for 1 cup of the stevia. The taste is pretty good. I do find with all of the sugar substitutes that there is an aftertaste. Some product is more tougher on the palate than other product. But you know what? When we're trying to cut out sugar, this is our best bet, in my opinion. Icing sugar, it's hard to substitute because you need that fine powdery icing sugar for your icings. You You don't want chunks in your icing. So icing sugar is a toughie. This is very pricey, but I find this works good. It is a substitute for our icing sugar. So we can do that. Back to the white sugar. Another product, this is actually a blend that I got at Bulk Barn. It is stevia and the erythritol blend. I've also tried monk fruit. It's also in a blend. That works okay. It's very granular, so you do get a little bit more chunk in it. It's not as fine as our white sugar. Brown sugar, again, we love our brown sugar in our brownies, in our butterscotch sauce. We can swap that out with the Splenda. This still has sugar in it, and the substitute, you have to read the chart, the substitutes isn't one-to-one. This is very sweet. I made the mistake of substituting 1 cup for 1 cup, where 1 cup is actually half a cup. So if I need 1 cup of brown sugar, I only need a half a cup of this. So watch the charts to see what the comparable substitute is. You don't want to add too much because then it is really sweet and you're defeating the whole purpose. Another substitute is honey. I have used honey in baked goods before in a pinch. So you can use honey. Substitute for honey, sorry, I have to look at my chart here. For 1 cup of white sugar, 3/4 cup of honey, liquid honey. You can also substitute for white sugar, icing sugar. So for 1 cup of the white sugar, you can substitute 1 1/4 cups of the powdered sugar. I have never tried that before. I'm sure it will work. So just I'll play around with that, but I've never needed to substitute with it. But I'm more interested in the alternatives to sugar in my baking these days, because there's so many people who need substitutes. They don't want the sugar in their baked goods. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea. I'm sure I've missed a few things, but yeah, Swerve or Stevia. There's Swerve, there's Splenda, there's a bunch of different, I don't like as much other than the brown sugar, because there's no other brown sugar substitutes out there that I like as much. So hopefully that helps a little bit, and there you go, sugar substitute. So another substitute that sometimes it comes in very handy to know, because a lot of people don't have buttermilk around, or a recipe will call for buttermilk or sour milk. So what you can do, and very easily, I might not have enough milk in this bag now that I see it, basically a cup of milk and a tablespoon of lemon juice or a tablespoon of vinegar added to your 1 cup of milk will make your buttermilk for you, or your sour milk. The acid in the vinegar or the lemon juice will cause your milk to curdle, and that's what you can use as your substitute for buttermilk. So that's a really easy one to do. Most people will have vinegar in their house or lemon juice, and then you don't have to run out and buy a whole carton of buttermilk. So 1 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice or vinegar, and that will give you the buttermilk that you need for your recipe. Oh no, my cream of tartar container is empty. What am I going to do? Well, 1 teaspoon of vinegar or lemon juice will replace 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Phew, now I don't have to run into the store to buy a teaspoon of cream of tartar. There. My recipe calls for heavy cream. Heavy cream is whipping cream. I don't know why it's heavy. I guess because the percentage of fat in it is so high, so maybe that makes it heavy. But what if I don't have whipped cream or heavy cream in my house? Well, I always try to have a can of evaporated milk in my home, because I use it for quite a bit of my baking, especially in my pumpkin pies. Did you know that if you put this in the freezer and then take it out when it's partially frozen, you can whip this up and it'll be like whipped cream? Also, if you have coconut milk in your pantry, it's also good to have maybe a can of that around. You can also freeze that partially and then pull that out and whip it. It doesn't hold up as good as whipped cream, but in a pinch, this will help. Also, if you need heavy cream and you don't have a can of the evaporated milk, you can use, 3/4 cup of milk and so let's say this again, 3/4 cup of milk and a 1/3 cup of melted butter. Mix that together. And you can replace that. You can also use 50/50 cream and Greek yogurt with some milk. So there's different things that you can put together. I'll post this at the end of my video also. But so in a pinch, evaporated milk, have some in your pantry. Don't have any baking powder? You can replace baking powder with 1/4 teaspoon soda and 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is a toughie because not everybody has cream of tartar, but if you do and you're out of baking powder, that's a great substitute. I have actually used that a lot because I've run out of baking powder. I had the cream of tartar and I had the baking soda. I got my baking powder. Don't have any baking soda? That's a problem. 1 teaspoon of baking soda can be replaced with 4 teaspoons of baking powder. That solves that problem. Well, that's it for our substitute lesson. I'm sure there's some more that I can think of later, but right now that's it. We did sugar, eggs, baking powder, baking soda, sour cream. So now I'm going to enjoy my sugarless, flourless, there is egg in this, cookie. So good.